سلام دوست های من، خوش آمدید. اسم من مارکه. الان توی کلاس فارسی در دانشگاه Howard County Community College. This is my presentation about the holiday Nowruz. So if you look at the first slide here, you'll see a picture of the half-seen table, which is an integral part of celebrating Nowruz. And culturally, it reminds me a lot of the Kwanzaa table that we keep in our house during the Kwanzaa celebration. So let's continue. So growing up in the northern New Jersey part of the country, which is right outside of New York City, I always thought it was odd that we would celebrate the New Year in the winter. As you can see here, this is a picture of Times Square, where every year there is a ritual in which the ball drops down in Times Square, which signals the new year. And it would only be a few days, like maybe a week after Christmas, that we're celebrating the new year, and it would be so cold outside. And I always thought that was so weird that the new year was celebrated in the winter. So in Nowruz, the springtime actually represents the new year because it coincides with the spring equinox, which to me makes more sense perfectly because that is when the earth becomes alive again, particularly those countries that experience winter. And so the Persian Nowruz is celebrated during the spring equinox, which is usually around March 21st. So what is Nowruz? Nowruz is an ancient tradition. It goes back an estimated 3,000 years ago, and it is rooted in the practice of Zoroastrianism, which in Farsi is Zartosht which is Zoroastrianism in Farsi, and it means nu, meaning new, and in ruz, meaning day, together Nowruz. And as you see here in the presentation with the two pictures, the first one is the Favahar or Farakiani, and the bottom picture is a celebration of Nowruz amongst the practitioners of Zoroastrianism. So the cultural significance, what does Nowruz mean culturally? So first, as an African American, when I see an image like this one, it is quite naturally or instinctively for me to go, wait a second, what's going on here? Why is he wearing that on his face? But that's within the cultural significance or the cultural context of America. But in Persia, Iran, it doesn't mean the same thing. This is a picture of Haji Feruz, who is a character that is associated with the celebration of Nowruz and who symbolizes good luck and good fortune. The themes revolving around Nowruz are Tajdid, meaning the renewal, i.e., I guess that's what comes with spring, and rebirth, Tavalod Dobare, which means a rebirth or harmony with nature. Again, going back to the springtime celebration. So throughout the Persian world, that's Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, the Kyrgyz region, and the diaspora communities. Here in Los Angeles in America, there's a huge Persian community, which they call Tehrangelis, coincidentally. And it again, this holiday is celebrated throughout the Persian world. And within Nowruz, there is a message, which is that darkness doesn't prevail over the light. In the end, ultimately, it is light that prevails over darkness. So it provides us hope, light, family, and repairing the relationships with our community. So one of the key features, as you saw in the title slide of Nowruz, is the Hafsin table. So Hafsin, Haft meaning seven, and the sin meaning those things that begin with the letter S in Persian, which is sin. We have sabze, which we see the grass here on the screen, samanu, which is a sweet wheat pudding, which symbolizes power. There is sanjed, which is the dried oyster, meaning love. We have sir, which is garlic, which means health. Sib, apple, which coincides with the meaning for beauty. Sumak, which means the sunrise. Sumak is a spice that's used in a lot of Persian cooking. And serke, which is vinegar, which means patience. Additional items that families will put on their Hafsin table is the holy book, i.e., the Quran, or mirror, ayane, or goldfish, mahi. Some of the foods that are eating at Nowruz are traditional and they appear at just about every Nowruz festival. Those that come to mind for the purpose of this presentation is sabzi poloba mahi, which is fish with rice. and herbs. We have kuku sabzi, which is like a herb frittata. It's like a yeah, frittata, like a what do you call it? Like a patty that's fried. Ajil, a nut and fruit mix. So Nowruz, as I mentioned before, Nowruz is celebrated ubiquitously throughout the Persian world. It's celebrated in Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and even though it's not a Persian country, it's right next door to Iran, some parts of Iraq, and again, those diasporic communities. And it just so happens that this year, my family, we celebrate Ramadan, and Nowruz coincided with Ramadan. So we already were experiencing blessings and good times and strengthening of our community and family bonds because it was Ramadan. But then we had an added blessing by being able to participate in the Nowruz celebration at the Smithsonian Museum of Asian Art. And we were able to take our son, and he really enjoyed the crafts. He colored in his own half-scene table, and it really was just a joyous occasion. And so I learned a lot about Nowruz hands-on by being at this festival, and it was interesting to celebrate it during the month of Ramadan. So that's all.